Hello again, my friends. I know that a lot of this week has been nothing but vlogs, but I'm basically trying to catch up on all of the Legion content that has happened in between now and Legion's launch. I promise that you'll get more than just that. I have plenty of other WoW content in store, but I did want to get to these as they were hot off the presses. So the final Harbingers video just came out, I want to say yesterday, probably earlier this week. Which was Harbingers Illidan. And I know that I've had, with Gul'dan and with Khadgar, I had other things to talk about. This time, not so much, so you guys will appreciate that. Aside from Demon Hunters are becoming available if you pre-ordered on August 9th, and that is awesome, and it's too bad I'll be on vacation and I can't record it. So at that point, let's go ahead and go into Harbingers Illidan. I'm going to try and keep this as spoiler-free as I can, so that my recommendation to you is watch the Harbinger series, especially if you're a WoW fan looking for reasons to get excited for World of Warcraft Legion. I think this does the job just as much as Lords of War did for... just as much as Lords of War did for Warlords of Draenor, as well as the Tales of Emperor Shaohao did for Mists of Pandaria, even though that came, I think, in the middle somewhere. So... with the story of Illidan, this is the one thing that I would advise people, especially people who don't know the lore. If you are curious as to the lore of the Demon Hunter and why Demon Hunters chose this existence, this would be the video to watch. Either that, or I think I've also recommended, if you haven't read the Illidan novel that just barely came out by William King, that's another way to be able to find that, because the aspect of these... I find it funny that they called it Harbingers Illidan, because you follow Illidan, don't get me wrong, but you also follow a young demon hunter who actually kind of questioned Illidan's judgment and whether or not they were doing the right thing, which is something that actually happens in the novel too, where you follow... you follow Illidan, and you follow Maiev Shadowsong in the events leading up to the Black Temple. But you also follow another Night Elf named Vandel, and his kind of quest to find Illidan and then be brought into the Demon Hunter's fold. And this kind of feels like a very shortened version of that. And I like it. So basically it shows Illidan talking to all of his Illidari, his demon hunters, and explaining their plan. That while the Legion tries to conquer Azeroth, they're going to be moving in on demon worlds one by one, and they're going to claim the lives of many, many, many demons and glory to be had. Which is what we expect, especially if people have played the beta and seen the Demon Hunter starting experience. It's very much that, where you get to see the Demon Hunters really revere Illidan and his decisions, but at the same time question him, because a lot of the things that he is proposing do sound mad. He's been in prison for 10,000 years. Makes sense. But I did like the fact that we didn't have an emphasis on Illidan so much in this as we did the other Demon Hunter, which then wraps up with... I'm going to have to spoil this, but I'm still going to strongly encourage you guys to watch the video. The Demon Hunter woman that we're following for most of it asked the question, what makes... we have demons in us. That's kind of the premise of the Demon Hunter, is you do have to take on the essence of a demon to be able to hunt them. And so she's basically saying, we have this essence within us. What makes us any different from them? What makes us different from the Legion that's just going to destroy countless worlds? And you hang on that question, and then you go into a whole action sequence, and it wraps up with Illidan basically saying, you asked me, what's the difference between us and the Legion? The Legion will conquer all, the Legion will burn all, the Legion will kill all. We will sacrifice all to make sure that doesn't happen. Which is a huge emphasis if people watch my videos on the Demon Hunter starting zone. I have sacrificed everything. What have you given? That's such an emphasis on the Demon Hunter and the sacrifices that they have made to to take on this vengeance that they want, because most of them are looking for vengeance against the Legion. It's not a noble cause. So at that point, I love that emphasis, and the fact that Illidan came back and said, "This is the difference between us," and came off as a leader. Like, he didn't come off crazy. He didn't come off as a villain, which is most of his stuff throughout all of Warcraft lore. He actually came off as like an inspiring leader, which was so refreshing to see. Like, granted, there are certain novels within Warcraft universe that I've never read, mainly because I've never been able to get a copy. So like the War of the Ancients, I don't know if he had those moments. But the fact that he had this moment in Harbingers was great. He actually seems like he could be a good guy. It's not just all about revenge. He wants to eliminate the Legion for glory, for power, for vengeance. But he also sees them as the evil that they are and wants to eliminate that evil from the universe. And so at that point, it's the best one. It's the best Harbingers that came out. I love what they did with Gul'dan, but it wasn't necessary. We knew Gul'dan was a bad guy. It just adds that flavor to, yeah, he was a nasty dude. Khadgar is an emphasis more along the lines of, you can't solo this, bro. You've got to have a group with you. You've got to have a raid. You got to have armies backing you. And this one was basically, yes, we're going to have an army. And yes, we're going to take on the Legion. And yes, there's going to be some hardship. But it's just another sacrifice topped onto the pile of everything else that we have sacrificed. We've sacrificed our bodies. We've sacrificed our souls to be a demon hunter. And even better, the thing ends with, I don't know how many times we've quoted this throughout the video, or throughout since Burning Crusade, but you are not prepared. And he finally raises his warglaive and says, "My Illidari, you are prepared." I thought that was a great emphasis, especially being able to have that line, and especially with his demon hunters, because at this point, who does Illidan have faith in other than his demon hunters? The book gives that emphasis too. He eventually loses faith in Kael'thas. He eventually kind of loses faith in Vaj. But his faith has always been well invested in his Illidari. And so Harbingers, the book, they make this emphasis perfect. So again, I recommend Harbingers wholeheartedly for brand new Warcraft fans who are looking to see what Legion is all about and what we're walking into, as well as like if you're a fan of just a good story. All three of these have really great stories to be able to see. And while two of them are all of them are dark to an extent, I would especially recommend Illidan, because at that point, I cannot emphasize how much this tells you what a demon hunter is and what a demon hunter is going to do, kind of thing. What the emphasis of your class is going to be. In fact, one of the things I would really like to see happen, and this is my personal preference, with the Demon Hunter starting experience launching next week for people who have pre-ordered Legion digitally, I would really like it if, we have that typical narration that happens with each class. If they took the narration from Harbingers that Illidan gives for most of it and made that the narration, I think it would be perfect. I think it would be the best way to be able to show what a demon hunter is, what you're walking into, and what your ultimate goal is. So with that, that's going to wrap things up for my coverage of Harbingers as well as Harbingers Illidan. Overall, Harbingers, awesome. Look into it if you haven't already, and especially Illidan. This does so much more flavored lore to a character that is beloved, that it's awesome. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you guys so much for watching these. And again, you're watching these while I'm on vacation, so I'll be back next week and ready to give you guys even more awesome WoW content. Some of it will be late because it'll be Legion-based, but I'm still going to bring it out just to get you guys' opinions. In the meantime, though, we'll see you guys next time, my friends, for the next bit of whatever coverage I'm doing at that given moment. Probably WoW. Till next time, my friends.